You are listening to Off the Shelf, a podcast by The Conference Board.
Hello, my name is John Metselaar, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to this edition of Off the Shelf, a series which helps senior executives address challenges and stay informed about current issues ahead of market trends. Be in the lead. This series is brought to you by the Conference Board, and today I'll be sitting down with Hortense le Gentil to discuss her book Aligned: Connecting Your True Self with the Leader You're Meant to Be. Now that's a really interesting title, and I'm so much looking forward to go and double click on the story behind the title. But before I turn it over to Hortense, let me introduce Hortense because she's got quite a bit of credentials. Hortense is a global executive leadership coach, and besides authoring her book, is ranked number 5 on the Global Gurus list by World Management Global Gurus, and was a 2021 nominee of the Thinkers 50 Coaching and Mentoring Awards. Her thought leadership has been featured in Forbes, Fast Company, Inc., and Business Insider. She's also a contributor to Harvard Business Review and ThriveGlobal.com. She has delivered executive leadership programs at various Fortune 500 companies and for CEO perspectives. Last, she is a certified, or maybe not last, but also she is a certified Marshall Goldsmith stakeholder-centered coach and part of the MG 100 coaches. Hortense, it took us a while to get together, but I'm so pleased that we are now. I read your article on HBR, I read your book, and you and I share a lot of common interests and perspectives as well. So I'm looking forward to have this conversation with you. Welcome to the Conference Board.
Thank you, John. I'm delighted to be here with you. Thank you for having me.
So why don't we just start with your story? How did you get to write the book? What was behind it? What was the driver? What life lessons made you come up with the principles that you're sharing?
So, as you can hear, I was born and raised in France. I studied marketing both in Paris and in Boston. I came back to Paris and I took the scenic road before finding my calling. I work for large corporate in advertising and media industry as an entrepreneur, and at least I found my calling as an executive leadership coach, and I coach CEO and senior executive. And this is back then, that an assistant of one of my clients asked me a very simple question. And she said, I think you are a coach and I would like to learn from you. Where can I find you? And John, you know that in France, as a coach, you are in the shadow. You don't talk, you don't write, you don't speak. It's really completely different. It's another culture. And I was ashamed to say, wow, I have nothing. And I have nothing. I don't have a website. I have nothing. And I said, okay, my purpose is I really want to help people as much as possible. And everyone can get a book, but not everyone can get a coach. And by myself, I cannot coach 1,000 of people. And so this is when I decided, to write Aligned, this book. And later I met Marshall Goldsmith, who asked me exactly the same question. It was already at the same time. And he said, where is your book? And I said, okay, I'm writing my book. I'm on it. Thank you. So this is how I came up with my book. And I'm writing, and I am my second book now, if you can imagine that.
Wow, you become a writer instead of a coach. That's quite a career changer, indeed.
Yeah, and I moved to New York. So I moved from Paris to New York.
So you got rid of the stigma of what coaches should be in Paris, and you can now celebrate what coaches can be in New York and in the US.
Exactly.
That's wonderful.
Yeah,
It's nice.
World.
It's nice how you went for the multiplier effect. I think you call that, right? How do you go and impact one person and then take that to the thousands by writing your book? And of course, you didn't stay there because you also have written articles. You're now all over the place. That's very impressive how you changed that career. Did you not find it difficult to go and get into those new skills that you need to develop, or did it come natural?
This is why my book is called Aligned, because when I said my calling, really, it was my calling. Um, it's, that moment where, all the puzzle of your life come together and you understand that what's happened in your life, what you did, the decision you made, the difficult time and everything had a sense, a purpose. This is why, just to lead you where you have to be, the leader you're meant to be. And so it was not hard, because I don't know if it was hard, to tell you the truth, because I just love learning. So I think it was a game for me. Even when I came back here and I learned how to speak, and how I learned how, to speak in a podcast, in an interview, write an article and everything. But I think it's part of our life to, as human being, to try to evolve and learn new skills and new things. So I'm always exciting to learn, and I need to learn every day. I try to learn something every day.
Yeah, knowing you only for such a short period of time, I can really see how enthusiastic and curious you are. And of course, that curiosity that underpins that sense of learning can be so powerful. And again, that's what you and I have in common.
Yeah,
And so that also already, I mean, one of my first questions was going to be, your book is called Aligned, and then the subtitle is connecting your true self with the leader you're meant to be. And then so you just, I was going to ask you, can you talk a bit about this? But you just did already. You found your own calling in that, right? Do you see that issue? Do you see that to be a challenge in all your coaching experience? Is that a challenge for most people, and why is that the case?
yes, because true self. What that mean exactly? People asking, very very often they said, "But I know who I am." Yeah, but can you double check that you're sure that it's your voice, that it's it's your thinking, it's your thoughts, it's really you, it's your story. It's not the story that other are waiting from you, your education, your parents, your family, your partner, whatever it is. We are all conditioned by our environment, and so being your true self it's that. And so it's difficult sometimes for people, because I think it's difficult for everyone, in fact, when you think about it, because it's being yourself. What that means, it means courage, because sometimes it very often, in fact, it means to say no. It was good for you, but not for me. I'm going to go my way, not the way that others want to do. And this is the only way to get where to be the person, the leader. I consider that everyone is a leader, by the way, because you are the leader of your life, at least, so you are a leader. So to become this leader you meant to be, each person is different. Each person, as we all have our own story. And this is by being ourselves, accepting who we are, and working on our talent, that we are going to be, again, you know, the leader we meant to be.
So I love what you're just saying, and I always, when I teach, I always introduce the concept: you are the CEO of your life, nobody else is. So you
Yeah,
better take charge. And then you mentioned the word courage, and that leads us, I guess, already into the subject of vulnerability, right? I'm a big fan of Brene Brown, and I see probably some of her influences also in the way that you write and think. And so she coins this term: have the courage to be vulnerable. I find it to be very powerful. And she also explains where the word courage comes from, right? Which probably you, as a French woman, knows.
yeah, it's cœur. Cœur is heart,
Yeah,
is vulnerability,
exactly.
is
Open your heart.
open your heart, open who you are, and don't be afraid, or be afraid but do it anyway. This is a great book, by the way.
By the way, don't be afraid. I find that's one of my other hobby horses, is that you said don't be afraid, but I would rather say what you said second, which is be afraid and do it anyway, because we all have our fears, right? I think you write about that as well, very eloquently in your book.
Thank you. Yes, it's fears are part of human being. That's okay. It's okay, but so feel the fear and do it anyway. Again, this is a title of a book, uh, great book, by the way. And because we are all afraid, and but some fears are good, some fears are not good, and we are just to have to be aware of it, and but do it anyway. And this is how we become who we are again.
And this gets us back to where you started when you said we all carry our reality with us, right? We all have been conditioned, and those fears are part of the conditioning. I assume that's the way you're thinking and writing, right? And so that gets us to the mind traps. You call that the mind trap? Is that true?
Yes. So, you know, the the fears come from life, I think, and it's very different from one person to another one. So, and you're right, and fears can come from others, also from your environment. And the mind trap is when you feel stuck. It's simply stuck. And we all at one time feel that, have that feeling. So we are facing a wall. And you face the wall, and you say, okay, what can I do? You can try to hurt the wall, but I think you're going to hurt yourself. Or we can just admit, see it, and say, okay, I'm facing a wall. I have to change. I have to change something, a behavior, maybe. Very often it's a behavior, a way of thinking. This is a mind trap for me. And it's a journey to go from mind trap to mind shift and mind build. And this is a journey. So, but the first thing is to really recognize that you're facing the wall. It doesn't work anymore. I have to change. And the second thing is investigate in yourself. What is holding you back? Really? What are you afraid of? Maybe, it's failing. Maybe it's the unknown. Maybe as a leader today, and this is, it's facing emotion of others, whatever it is. But really investigate and face it. And from there, it's a mindset, it's a different connection. So replace this fear by something positive. You find the door, you open the door to free yourself, to unlock yourself by replacing, this behavior, these fears, by something positive. Maybe I can listen more, for example, if you are this leader who are afraid about emotion. And from there, you do this mindset, this mind shift, sorry. You do this mind shift. You make this change. Because we have 100 billion of neurons in our brain. Our brain is amazing. But the plasticity of our brain allow us to change our view of things, to change our view. So what doesn't help you anymore has to change. And this new connection is going to help you to change and to face the change. But again, you need courage to do it. And
Yeah.
this is a process.
Yeah. Yeah, people don't appreciate that your brain is like a muscle, right? You can train the muscle, and you can train it in the way that you want it to develop. Um,
Yeah.
so, so now you've covered mind traps and talked already about mind shift, right? And maybe
Yes.
we finish this part off by going because what I really, many people they sort of know this, right? What you just explained, but they're stuck because they don't know how to go about changing it. And I really resonated to your mind trap, mind shift to mind build. And maybe I need structure in my little brain, and 1, 2, 3 is always very powerful to me. So can you continue? And so then, okay, so
Okay.
you have your you
Okay.
have your issues, right? Your fears, your limitations, your conditioning. Then
Yeah.
you got to really reset and rethink and reimagine almost what is
Re, re,
possible, right? And then how do you go about this the mind build approach?
and so yeah, so you replace. So and so the mal build is how. as you said, it's a muscle. So you have walks to do. It's all about walk. So you have a muscle and you want to work on your muscle. Every day you're working on it, right? So here, for example, if you decided to listen more, I always recommend, anyway, to make your daily checking, as I say, daily checking. What that means. Every day you have to work on yourself and think about it and think about, okay, did that, for example, if you took, and you decide on what, so number one, number two, number three, or number whatever it is. Sometimes I have 10 of them and I change. uh, but it's your tutor.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
every day you come back to that and you work on it, exactly like you exercise your a muscle. So it's a muscle in your brain, and you exercise it, because if you don't, you're going to go back, to your old behavior, because you are used to do it, so, and your brain is used to do it. So it's a journey, but you need to do the work, and daily checking. In France, we have a lovely sentence that difficult to translate in English, but I can try to tell it in France if we have people who speak French. It's je m'en vais prendre de mes nouvelles. It it means that literal. I think it means exactly every day I am going to take news of me. You don't say that in English, but this is what that means. And this is very important because it's work, and you need to work, you need
Wow.
to do the work.
I find that powerful. That really the point on you need to work on your brain is something which again not many people do. At best, they get into some meditation exercise, but you need to take it if you want to change and tap into who you really are. Right back to your point,
Yeah,
the leader you're meant to be,
yeah.
and then this is what is required.
It's a routine that you have to do. And so it's a routine because what you understand is you're facing the wall, you find the door, you go through the door, and you free yourself. So you don't want to go back to the wall, in front of the wall. You want to continue your journey. And for that, you have to do this daily routine, whatever it is, your daily routine. You can also, decide to journaling. Some of my clients just like to write every day. It's 2 3 sentences or more if you want. Whatever, it's your own way to do it. For myself, I do my daily questions, and I look at it every evening because I like it to do at the end of the day. And in the morning, I have another routine with doing yoga, meditation, and things like that. But I checking, I try because it's a work. It's really a work to to check where you are. Are you still aligned? By the way, because it's about alignment. Am I myself or am I somebody else? And be sure that you're yourself and unlock yourself, align yourself, and be the leader you're meant to be.
You also need to create a vision for yourself, right? You need to develop a mental mind, a mental framework, I guess, for how you see yourself into the future. What is the destination that you want to go and work toward?
Yeah. Yeah. Yes, you need to work on that also. A lot of things, because it's a process. It doesn't happen in one day. It's a process. And this alignment, you know, when you can go outside, you go inside. This alignment is your vision, is your true north. You refer to it each time. And in the process of, yes, replace old behavior, new behavior, and what's happened if you can behave differently or do something differently, you open the door to your new you. And this is when and there that you see your vision, who you are, who you want. It's sort of process. Also, you can write that. It's important.
Yeah,
It's a good tool also
or
to
maybe
write.
visualize it. As they say that you
Visualize.
visualize it is more powerful than writing it down, or at least that's what I've heard others talk about.
You know what I think? I think that for everyone is very different. You
That's
have
true.
people, yeah, you have people very visual. I am very visual, as you are, and but some people need to write. And sometimes doing both are very good also. Remember, when you do a movie, when you have to write the movie before and
Yeah,
after you make the picture.
exactly.
So it's all about the scenario.
Okay. Let's take a break of just a couple of minutes for a short announcement, and then we'll pick it up. And I want to move into a bit more around leadership and how difficult they find it to be human, and why. And why is that so important today to break through that? Just a short break.
Looking for additional business insights in this subject area and beyond this podcast, go to tcb.org and explore our Human Capital Centre. Uncover a large array of products hosted by the Conference Board in focus areas like diversity and inclusion, talent management, and many others. Products include peer-to-peer networking events, expert briefings, publications, data and analysis, webcasts, videos, and blogs.
And welcome back. And I'm here with Hortense le Gentil to talk about her book Aligned, Connecting Your True Self with the Leader You're Meant to Be. And we covered already a bit of a framework on how to go and move towards what you want to be in a very intentional and structured way, from mind trap to mind shift to mind build. Now let's go and explore a bit. Why do leaders today, or today maybe ever, maybe even, I guess it's always happened, but it's more important today now than ever before. Why do leaders find it so hard to be human? Hortense.
Yeah, I'm
Can
thinking
you
of it.
please explain?
Okay, I'll try. Okay, because I think that we think that as a leader, you should be a hero. I don't know where to pick up that, but you should be a hero. But the problem is that the definition of leadership hero is not good. I thought about that, 2 weeks ago because I was, reading an article and I thought about it. By the way, the problem is not the hero; it's a definition of hero. Because when you think about it, okay, what is a hero? Can be Superman. Okay, good, but it's a fiction. Superman can fly. I cannot fly, so I cannot be a hero. And the definition of a leader hero, because they think that this should be, some of them should think that this should be a hero, is having all the answer. But when you think about it, and during COVID, we saw that, okay, who had the answer, by the way? Who knew that the COVID were coming? Who knew that, we will have a lockdown? Who knew that a war would come? Who knew that the great resignation would come? And who know who knows what's going to happen tomorrow? I'm not sure that our leader knows that. And of course, this is normal because they are human.
Yeah.
And so if you think about it 5 minutes and think about it, what is a hero, real hero? For me, for example, it's Gandhi. If I take Gandhi, you know, it's a journey. It's a human journey who make you a hero. You are not. You cannot just go to school, go to university, do well, and be a hero. This is not a hero. A hero is a human journey. Again, if you take Gandhi, you have to go out your comfort zone. So you have the known and the unknown. You go to the unknown, so you need courage to do it.
Yeah.
And you need, to go to this transformation, to learn transformation, to connect with your community. This is what he did. He was a lawyer, an attorney in London, maybe not in London, but yes, I think in London, anyway, in England. And he came back to India, and so he could stay there, but no, he wanted, to come to India. And this is by knowing people, meeting people, and feeling the country, that he did this all this journey and arrived to be to come back as a hero, because it was heroic. And this is a hero. So as a leader, you can be a hero, yes, but you have to change the definition. It's by being human that you are going to be a hero. It's by, connecting with your community, with your teams, with your, because, an organization is a community of person. And you have to, yeah, really be all together and be human, that you're going to be a hero. And this is why. And so this is caring in a way, because you are not used to do it
Yeah.
as a leader.
Yeah, we are
So
disconnecting. I mean, if you're not human, you cannot really, really deeply connect with others. And as you
mhm,
said, things get done through teams, through relationships. If you want to build those, you got to go and open yourself up, and be human and connect. And this is where the vulnerability point comes in as well.
yeah.
And I guess many of us. I mean, I teach this as well in my class, and I'm interested to hear your perspective, which is naturally complementary to what I always say. I say, we have been conditioned to go and listen to that heroic leader, right? That was our past. I mean, the Henry Fords of this world knew exactly what he wanted to do, and then everybody executed what Henry Ford wanted to do. All right, the leader. I think Ken Blanchett puts this really nicely. He said, "You know what? The leader was responsible, and the people were responsive."
Mhm.
And that in the face of bureaucracy was acceptable, and that worked for some time. Today, back to your examples of the world we live in today, it's so complex that the leader doesn't have all the answers. So you need to go and flip the responsibility, and your attention, frankly, to go and unleash the collective intelligence of the people that work with you. And that's where that connection that you made, the point you made, comes in so powerfully and so necessarily. I guess, right?
Exactly, because the world changed, and we all suffer, and the world changed again. The great resignation is showing that people are looking for something else. So if the world change and we don't change our leadership, it doesn't work, right?
Well said.
We have to change. We have to adapt to the situation. So, and it doesn't mean, of course, that you know a leader cannot take any decision. This is not what this is not what I'm saying. It's really depending on the situation or whatever. But really being this human leader, this is what your team are waiting for you and from you. Sorry, and being this guide, being this you know moving from doer or doing, from doing to guide, to be here for others. And it's all together that you are going to find the answer, not alone. You cannot, and you put too much pressure on your shoulder anyway, so because you cannot. And your role is so interesting when you begin to be that kind of leader, human leader, connect with other, connect your why, your purpose with the purpose of the company, and try to understand everybody in the company and try to make them aligned with their why also, and the way of the company. It makes it makes a difference.
Yeah, you
And
enable. Sorry, go on.
yeah, no, yeah, and you enable people to be part of them, respected. People are listen, are feel respected, so they want to work for you. It's completely different.
Yeah,
And they want to work for your company, by the way. So and not leave your company because they are not respected or heard or listened or whatever.
exactly.
And
And that also, you in fact help them to become the leader that they're meant to be as well. And
exactly.
that's a powerful statement. I always say, you need to give back to the people in your organization, not so, through coaching, and that's not charity, right?
No.
But it is helping individuals, but it also helps your company, because everybody grows better and stronger, and drives that learning and personal growth. That's
Yeah.
a huge investment. That's a meaningful investment, I should say,
Yeah.
because it
Yeah,
really rubs off on the individuals.
exactly. And you begin a facilitator. You
Yeah.
begin, this guy, this coach. I said very often, this is what I say. I said, oh, do be a coach. Do exactly what we did together, but do it with them, whatever it is. And
Yeah.
yeah, and it's so important, and it's so, in fact, it's so interesting also. So that's why everybody, is talking about it. But again, it needs courage, because you have to change. You have to admit that you have to change. You have to face emotion of people. You have to change, and you have to let go. You know what you thought was right until now. That no, I'm here to have all the answer. I need to have all the answer. You have to really to make peace with that. I say no, it's not that. It's
Also,
completely different.
if you pretend that you have all the answers, then you expect everybody else in your organization to have all the answers as well, and you get to an organization that has a tremendous amount of groupthink. Um, I use the in my teaching now. I stumbled onto the Satya Nadella Microsoft case, and it's a very powerful case talking about growth mindset and psychological safety and learning culture. And he talks about taking a know-it-all culture into a learn-it-all culture, which is the know-it-all culture he faced, and he did a fantastic turnaround in creating a learn-it-all culture. I found that to be very inspirational, and that
Yeah,
fits your concepts.
exactly. I'm a big fan of him. It's my hero. Yeah, he's a great, great leader, and I quote him very often. It's a great people, very vulnerable, very natural. Yeah, is wonderful.
So to the audience, by the way, the HBR article that Hortense has written is, I think I'm not sure if it's even publicly available, but because I'm a subscriber of HBR. But if you can have a look at it, I would urge you to do it. I just love the title, but also the content. Leaders stop trying to be heroes. I found that to be very powerful. I was called by or written to me on LinkedIn by a professor from Singapore. He came to visit Brussels. He said, "I want to talk to you about celebrity CEOs." And I said, "You can come and talk to me, but I'm not going to have a very favorable, perspective around celebrity CEOs because those often pull much too much of the light towards them versus bringing it to their company and to the people."
Mm, mm.
And that's
It's mm,
go
it's
on.
all about, sorry. It's all about, meaning, respect people, meaning, include people, listen to people,
Yeah.
and
So
it's
maybe
beautiful, beautiful.
no, it's absolutely, and that maybe leads me into the last topic I wanted to get into, which is you made a very wise statement of saying leaders often underestimate the impact they have on the humans and the people in their organizations. Why can you speak a bit more to that? What's your thought on that?
Yeah, because in fact, the way you are a role model in the company, so the way you are acting, it's not the way, it's not the word who count. It's how you react, how you act, and people are looking at you. So if you allow yourself, for example, to be human, people are going to allow themselves to be human as well. I have this example of, one of a CEO that I know, and she used to go to gym, and she said everyone has to take time for lunchtime and go to gym, but nobody took the time. Same for vacation, she said, but she didn't took the time for herself. One day she understood, and she said, "Okay, lunchtime," and she put her jogging and her short or whatever it was to go to the gym, and everyone could see that she went to the gym. So everyone allows themselves to go to the gym. So it's a little example, but just to explain. And same, for example, I know all my clients, when he opens the a meeting, even if it's a meeting, a Zoom meeting or virtual meeting, is by asking the question, how are you today? How do you feel today? And everyone in the meeting is answering. It changes everything, because people, and he begins by himself. So he can say, I don't feel, I have, okay. I feel okay, but maybe a little tired today. Oh, he is tired. I can say that I feel a little tired. And that's all. It's not like everyone has to, tell and, everything about everything. This is not that. This is only to allow yourself to not act
Yeah.
and be yourself. If today you have a little down, it's fine. It's
Yeah.
human. And maybe people can help you. By the way, I don't know if you have, a problem with, I don't know, a kid because you don't have your babysitter, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Maybe someone can help you. Or if you need a doctor, maybe, somebody can help you. Or as a leader, you know, they are lady, we are facing a lot of mental illness, a lot of mental illness. So maybe in the company you organize, you have people or psychologists who can help your people,
Yeah.
and allow people to say, I need help. It's very important. And as a leader, when you have a coach, by the way, just telling, you know I want to improve, I have a coach, I need help, so help me. You you know you show, you are the role model again, so people are looking at you. Oh, she has a coach. It's okay to have a coach. It's okay to learn. It's okay to evolve.
Yeah. There's still
So
the
important.
stigma. There's still the stigma on coaching that is the people with performance problems that you need to go and give a coach to fix a problem, right? Instead of
Mm-mm.
investing into your future.
Yeah, it's not,
So
not at all that.
we need to break through that as well. And indeed, life at the top is, as we both mentioned earlier on, so stressful these days, so challenging. The world's so complex, so demanding
Mhm.
that go and find people, at least, or professional coaches, or find people that you can talk to. Which is
Yeah,
another problem, is lonely at the top, right? Who are you
yeah,
seeking for perspective and advice and support?
yeah,
And I love your point as well on please accept to be, you are a role model. They will watch your every move. And if you want to achieve something, I call that walking the talk. You got to go and walk your talk, and
yeah,
illustrate with behaviors what you say. If you
yeah.
don't do that, you can better not say anything, frankly, because you lose all
Yeah.
credibility.
Exactly. And you have to be yourself, because that's why you have to begin, the work begin by yourself. You have
Yeah,
to be sure of, you don't say something because you think it's good to say. You have to own what you think, coming from your heart, again, from the cœur, again, for the courage, again. We are always
excellent.
coming back here. And so you align yourself, your vision, what is important for you, and it's fine. As you are, you open to other people, and you allow others to align themselves also. And it's going there
You
from.
get the ripple effect, as they call it.
Yeah, the ripple effects. Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
Hortense,
exactly.
this was an outstanding conversation. In particular, the end I thought was really really great, and so it would be a nice point to start. But I do want to give you the opportunity. Was there one thing that we did not cover that you really want to go and pass on to our audience, or you think we went around the subject matter well enough?
No, I think we spoke about a lot of things, but in one word, really do the job, do the work, and to be, to unlock yourself, to be aligned, to be really yourself, to be aligned, and to become the person, the leader you meant to be. The world needs you, so
With
do
that,
it.
I couldn't wish for a better finish. Hortense le Gentil, I want to thank you for having this conversation. I really enjoyed it myself. From the looks on
Me
your
too.
face, the audience doesn't see you because this is a podcast, not a webcast. I see your face. This was good.
Mhm.
We had a lot of fun. I hope this resonated to your audience. Thank you very much. If you like this, pass it on, share it broadly. This is a complimentary podcast. And if you like what you heard, tune in again on the Conference Board podcast channel. You can find us anywhere on all the regular podcast outlets, I guess you call them. So that completes today. Hortense, I hope to talk again. Look forward to continue our relationship, build it out, and I definitely want to learn more from you. And to the audience, go and read the article, go buy the book. There's a lot of riches in there. Thank you all very much.
So thank you for having me, John. I was delighted to be here. Thank you for having me and listening to me. And you can also reach me on my website with hlgconsulting.org.
Don't miss this opportunity, folks. Thank you again, Hortense. Thanks, everyone. Closing the podcast. Till next time.
This has been Off the Shelf, a podcast by The Conference Board.